Hi, we just finished meeting for intonation practice on Wednesday, February 1st. And that means that tomorrow, I'm going to start there and go back to number 3, is Groundhog Day. So I put the Wikipedia link here in case you're not familiar with what is a Groundhog Day. They take this little rodent out of the ground and just for tradition, if he comes out and sees his shadow, we'll have 6 more weeks of winter. If not, spring will come early. So tomorrow, February 2nd in the United States is Groundhog Day. Groundhog. So it does sound like dog. And I put the link here to the movie. It's the IMDb explanation of the movie. Uh, it's good. I used it in my classes for teaching English because the main character has the same day over and over again. So you get to hear the same characters say the same lines again and again. And I think that's really good listening practice to hear the same lines said again and again the same way by the characters that don't know the day is repeating. And only the main character can say new things. Um, Groundhog Day. Back to the first one we had, inherit eternal life. And I spelled some of these the way they're really spelled, like hair, life, and the others the way they sound. Inherit eternal life. The T will connect to the E and change to a D. Inherit eternal life. Groundhog Day. And over here, I have high probability, and negative words are higher probability than nouns. But in this case, I think that this is a contrast. Let not man separate, like in the wedding vows when they say what God has put together, let not man separate. So if you're contrasting God and man, then you might want to emphasize man. Let not man separate. And in this case, all of these little marks here I put there to remind you to hold your tongue in the T position and not release it with airflow, because then you would hear let not man separate. And then it would be chop, chop, chop. So hold your tongue there and not release the air. Let not man separate. Separate. Let not man separate. Except him alone. These sound exactly the same. Except him alone. Except him alone. You won't know which one it is if you didn't know the context because they sound the same. I'm gonna put I. So except the EX and the AC words, because the EX and the AC are not stressed, they will change to I, and then you won't know the difference. Except him alone. Except him alone. Those will all connect. Except him alone. Give to the poor. And the word poor you can say with an OR sound, poor, or a UR sound, poor. They're both fine, whichever one you prefer. Give to the poor. You're not going to say to the. Give to. Give to the poor, or give to the poor. Quit cold turkey. And again, the T in quit and the D in cold, you won't hear. Hold your tongue. Quit cold turkey. Jittery, I put on the word, so we'll do that after this. Tell her I called. Accept him. This was an example of the T and accept connecting to the pronoun him, but you can drop the H in him, and now the T connects and it sounds like Tim. So that's the same thing that's happening here with her and him. The L from tell connects, get rid of the H, and now it sounds like teller. And tell him, get rid of the H, connect the L to the I, and it sounds like tell him. Tell her I called, and hold that final D. Tell her I called. Tell him I called. Thrown away. Thrown will connect. That got thrown away. That got, no T's, that got thrown away. I'm going to give that all away. I'm gonna give that doll away. The T changes to a D and the L connects to the A. That doll away. So it really does sound like that doll away. So if you said this, looking at this, I'm going to give that doll away. I wouldn't know if you were saying a doll like a toy or if you were saying all because it would sound the same. I'm going to give that doll away. A cup of Joe. You don't have to say the of, it just changes to a. So cuppa will connect. A cuppa. A cup of Joe means a cup of coffee. And word stress. So we started with separating the different pronunciation of the verb and the adjective. For separate has 3 syllables. Separate. And the ATE ending looks like ATE and it sounds like ATE, like I ate a sandwich. Ate. If it's the adjective, it changes to 2 syllables. Separate. And now the ATE sounds like IT, it. Separate. And you don't say the T. I should put that little mark there too, because you don't say that T. Separate. Separate. So if there's a vowel after it, you will hear the T connect and it will change to a D. Now I don't know which, oh, it doesn't matter. If I say separate animals or separate animals, whether you're using the verb or the adjective, the T will connect. Separate animals. Separate animals. If there's a consonant after, you won't hear the T because now it's just staying in that position. Separate bills. Separate bills. This happens with words that have ATE as the ending and when they can be both the verb or an adjective or noun. So the verb form keeps the ate. And sometimes it might help to remember that it will sound like ate when it's a verb because ate is a verb. I ate a sandwich today. Graduate. Make sure you round your lips. The D and the U make a J, and then the 8 unrounds the lips. Graduate or graduate. You still need to think of it as wait here. You're not ready to graduate until we say. If it's the adjective, I am a graduate student, or just noun, I am a graduate of that school, the 8 sounds like it. Graduate. Graduate student. I am a graduate. And this is an example of 10 and 11 sounding the same. So they may look different here, but when you say them, because the stress is on sept, the ick sounds the same. Except or accept. If you want to be perfect, you could say accept. But in context, nobody's being that careful. And in context, people would know which one it was. The example of vowels changing to I used in develop. You can use in the develop, or you can use develop. Because they're not stressed, the duration will be shorter and you won't notice which one it is anyway. Develop, develop. Which one did I use? Guess you'll have to slow it down. Jittery. These 2 T's will change to sound like D's. If it's the adjective, I feel jittery. It'll be 3 syllables. Jittery. If it's the noun, the word is jitters. I have the jitters. The verb shivering. I'm shivering. I think that's it. Good. We had lots of details today. It was fun. Well, fun for me. Thank you for indulging me in my word nerdness. And it was fun if you were here. And if not, I hope you can join us someday and have a good weekend.